Good morning, everybody. I'm going to be playing from the Denver Guitar Orchestra.com website, so you should squeeze on over there and grab the sheet music that we're going to play from today, denverguitarorchestra.com. I'm going to go post the link to the broadcast here, and then we will get started. Paste. I didn't get an email out. I didn't get any of the updates done. The only thing I did was get the website updated for the next 2 weeks. So I'm running a tiny bit behind in terms of getting stuff out to people. So maybe people show up, maybe they don't show up today. I don't know. Imagine if you will show up, and let's hope that they get some good out of it. Otherwise, as always, all of these broadcasts are saved in YouTube, and then we just you can come by and look at them anytime you like. And then I also tweet this thing now. Let's get my Bluetooth keyboard going. Usually takes about 400 clicks before it catches. Let's close that. So let's see, it's 10:04. We'll start in about 2 minutes. Bluetooth keyboard still clunking along. Come on, little guy, you can get going. It's just not eager to connect to the computer. And so there we go. It's finally working. Let me get my gadget fired up here. I have an electric everything these days, and it's ridiculous. https:// Denver Guitar Orchestra.com. Instrumental guitar number 231. And then I'm going to hit these. And I'm going to hit the guitar. I'm going to hit tweet. Tweet. There we go. And so now we have tweeted. And now we have double checked that this link is working properly. Page. And click. It is. Appears to be. There we go. There I am. Everybody's happy. Ready to go. Vic is in. She says I sound okay. It's cloudy and cold up in Eugene. Well, she didn't say cold, but I'm assuming it is. Today in Denver, it's all overcast and weird. We had a couple of fires happen over the weekend, and I'm hypothesizing that the haze is due to smoke, but I don't know for sure. And I don't know what temperature it is outside. Let's find out. Let's use our resources. Okay. And then we click this. And then it says it is 27 degrees out there, 27 and sunny. So it's cold outside. Chopped off my fingernails over the weekend. I'd had enough of it. I try to be a serious guitarist, but I just hate having fingernails. So I chopped them off and still play guitar. So I have never been a big fan of fingernails on guitars. I know most classical guitar players are, but it just feels like one more thing in life that you got to take care of. Beautiful. Let's see. Elizabeth is in. Cold up there in northern Colorado as well. Evelyn down in Ecuador. Sound is good. 73 again, sunny. It's a perfect day in Cuenca. Vic says, I have 41 degrees with 56% humidity. We don't know what humidity is out here in Colorado, so it sounds like you're doing okay, Vic. Pauline, good morning, Gary. It's overcast, 62 in the Bay Area today. Sounds pretty nice, actually, for a winter day in Northern California. So glad you're here, Pauline. For those of you guys that are not regular attendees, which I think all of you are this morning, we are still going to take a moment to run through Brother John. And again, I like these. We just keep these rotating through at level 1. And so a lot of times when we're doing Brother John, you're thinking, I've sat through this lesson 1,000 times. the part of the reason that I don't necessarily lose too much sleep over it, if you've sat through this lesson a few times, is that there's probably going to come a day when somebody asks you to teach them how to play guitar. And I do think starting right with Brother John is the way to go. I'm reading from book number 1. All of you guys, if you don't have an actual copy of the second edition of book 1, just send me an email and I will send you a copy of it. I'm not protective of it at all. It is the basic stuff that virtually all guitarists need to know. And it's just presented in a really clean, neat, orderly fashion, and it makes sense. So first of all, let's talk about tuning guitars. A lot of times people are under the mistaken notion that once a guitar is in tune, it stays in tune. It does not. And every guitar that I've ever picked up, I've had to tune right off the bat. And the phrase that pays, Eddie, 8, dynamite, good, bye, Eddie. If I ever meet you in a grocery store somewhere and you're like, hey, Gary, it's Pauline. Remember, I take guitar lessons from you online. I'm like, hey, Pauline, how are you? And then we have exchange pleasantries. And then I say, hey, Pauline, what is the phrase that pays? And her answer should be, without thinking, Eddie, 8, dynamite, good, bye, Eddie. Of course, there are other ways to tune guitars, and I've seen lots of. I have a current guitar student who started with D-tuning, which is when you tune this to a D chord and you play it just with your finger. We do that with little kids, right? We tune the guitar to D. The entire thing is in D, and then we just teach them to do this. And it's not unpedagogical, because then basically what we're doing is teaching them to do this, that. Right, that's what we're teaching them to do. It's just that it eliminates these 3 fingers. And so there are other tunings you can do, but Eddie 8 Dynamite Goodbye Eddie is the international standard for standard tuning, and so you need to know that. Many ways to tune your guitar. The only correct way is to own a Snark, ST8, one of these guys. If you own anything else, you're making your life harder, and these things are wonderful. High definition screen, high-tech computer inside of them. They're just amazing. And you just pluck it, and that says E, and then it says A, and it says D, it says G, it says B, it has E. On these tuners on the back, there are other buttons. Some of you may not even know that. Don't touch those buttons. Those other buttons are to adjust your all sorts of things. And I don't even know what mine do, but they'll like allow you to tune half a step off. They'll allow you to tune, instead of at 440 megahertz, they'll turn hertz, 440 hertz of some manner. They'll either allow you can do 442, 445. Beethoven tuning is 445. And so it allows you to do some of that stuff. You probably will never actually do any of that, unless you are. I don't know why you would do that. Oh, well, you might do it if you were recording an album or something, and the sound engineer said, hey, I need to tune up an extra hertz or 2. You do that. The other thing, make sure that you've downloaded a tuner on your phone. You may never, ever use that tuner, but sooner or later, you're going to be at a friend's house, and they're going to say, hey, I have this old guitar in the closet. Play me something, and you're going to need to tune it up, and you won't have a tuner with you. But you have your phone with you, and so you should put a tuner on there. Last way, not unimportant, let's go down the 5th fret here. So fret 1, fret 2, fret 3, fret 4, fret 5. Let's go to the 6th string from the bottom. This is 6th string. And hold it down at fret 5, use your middle finger probably, and press hard enough where it makes a clean tone, and then that tone will be the same as the string right below it. And if they're not, you can make some minor adjustments to it so they sound the same. And then the 5th fret on the 5th string, just drop your middle finger down 1 string, same as the string below it. Okay, and then one more time, 4th string, 5th fret. Now here's one thing you have to remember. In the book, page 6 at the bottom, there's a thing called relative tuning, and it gives you a little layout of this. On the 3rd string, you have to use the 4th fret. And then the 2nd string goes back to the 5th fret. Back when I was a little boy and my dad gave me my first guitar, we would have both tuned to this string. We'd get it as close as we could to the same, and then we would go down and make sure all of the strings matched. And then that's how we tuned back in the day. Now we have machines to do that for us, but it's still a pretty important thing. Even after I tune up using the tuner, I go through and just double check. Partly it helps develop my ear. Partly it can catch slight differences. You hear a slight difference on that one. And this one's a little bit too high. And you can hear it just being a little too high from the one around it. So I might loosen it up just a smidge. That's better. That's better. So that way the guitar's in tune to itself. Pauline just said, "Yeah, I already tell everybody about Eddie eating dynamite. Goodbye, Eddie." That's what you do in the Bay Area. You go out. Hey, would you like a cappuccino? Yes, it's $12.50 down at our local cafe. We're going to go down. We're going to talk about progressive ideas, and we're also going to talk about how to tune a guitar. Eddie ate dynamite. Goodbye, Eddie. Can you imagine? I'm just picturing life in San Francisco, right? But one of the great places on the entire planet, right? And you're like, yes, let's go be very progressive and play guitar. Eddie ate dynamite. Goodbye, Eddie. All right. That's how you tune a guitar. Next thing, holding your guitar. You can hold it any way you want, but you should hold it the way I teach you, okay? Don't hold it any way you want because it's going to get in your way long term. Best way to hold it, up here, about a 45 to 50 degree angle. I see lots of classical guitars all the way up here, about 60 degree angle. So if this is 0, this is 45, and this is 90, right? So anywhere between 60 and 45 is going to be the best thing for you. And it should be sit down between your legs. Super awkward the first time you do it. After a while, you don't notice it anymore. But the first time you're like, I don't think I want to do this. And so, yeah, you get where it's more comfortable. I've been using this gadget attached to my guitar, which is really, really handy. But you don't necessarily need that. If you don't have that, you just put your foot up on a box or your guitar case or something. Lift your left leg up. You don't really want to hold your guitar horizontal because then your thumb is going to end up here. And then you're going to be doing some really weird and uncomfortable things with your chording hand. When you watch guitar players on television, this is what they're doing most of the time, and it's extremely uncomfortable, and it's why not very many guitar players continue doing it later into life. This actually will injure you, and so there's no reason to be playing a guitar like this. If you stand up with a guitar and you're standing in a microphone to sing Hotel California, the guitar is going to be on a strap. It's going to drop down into classical position. So you should be playing even electric guitars in classical position because it's correct and it's less pressure on your body and less weird stuff on your hand. The main posture reason for holding it this way is your thumb should never come up over the top. Okay, there is one reason on an electric guitar that you might need to bring your thumb up over the top, but electric guitars have much thinner necks and are actually designed for your thumb to come up over the top and grab a couple of these. Grab either sometimes the top string, and very rare examples where you might need to grab the A string. You'll see on YouTube all the time all these players with their thumb up over the top. Please don't do that. It's ridiculous. Your thumb should be in the middle of the neck, the pad of your thumb on the back of the neck, and there's no reason ever for us to see your thumb. So it should always be back here. It's going to hang out right, but wherever your middle finger is, your thumb is hanging out right behind it, and that's it. Jeff Peterson uses one. Okay, yeah, one of these little doodads, and she says she's using her yoga block, right? Sit and put her foot up there on the top of the. Just put your yoga block under your foot. Works perfectly. Yeah, I have a yoga block around here somewhere. I never was sure what to use. I know what to use it for guitar. Not sure what to use it for yoga. That was my problem. Of course, I've never actually taken an actual yoga class. I just, mess around. Donna goes to them and she'd come back and say, look at this. And I'm like, I don't know how you're doing that. Let's see. Vic wants to be in San Francisco as well. We all want to go to your house, Pauline. Well, if you hear a knock on the door, it'll be EADGBE. We'll knock 6 times. Yeah. All right. So there's that. That's posture. Thumb back behind here. Rest of the hand in front. That's pretty important, to be honest with you. It's not. It's as close to a rule as I can think of. We should never see your thumb. And the reason I know this is you can watch every classical video, every classical guitar video on YouTube, and you'll never see a thumb. It just doesn't happen. All right, let's go to the sheet music itself, Brother John. Main things with this song are that we're going to be learning how to read tablature, and we're going to be learning how to read chord charts. And so the very straightforward thing that we need to do first is make an E chord. So when you take index finger, 3 strings up, first string, second string, third string in the first fret. Okay, right, cha. Second thing we need to do, middle finger, top, 5th string up, not the top string. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 strings up in the second fret, and then ring finger, 4 strings up in the second fret. That's the shape you're going to want to make. I'm holding the wrong strings, 5 and 4. Isn't that nice sounding? Make sure you're behind the metal bar. The bar is called a fret wire. You want to be right behind that, and usually not way behind it, just kind of up next to it a little bit. Middle and ring finger there. Okay, and there's that. Okay, and right now it's not going to matter what you're doing with your right hand. It'll matter later in a week or two, and we'll talk about it a little bit today. Okay. Should sound like that. If you're getting this, just squeeze a tiny bit harder. In the beginning, your thumb muscle needs to get developed, and it'll be real tired when you play guitar. Be like, ow, that kind of hurts. And of course, your fingertips will hurt a little bit when you first start, because they're having to press hard against these wires. Okay, and there's that. With your right hand, I think for right now, just a thumb down will be fine. Okay. Those of you guys who've been around a while, you already know the drill. You can be playing, you can and should be playing with your claw position. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then some of you will be thinking about an 8 pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Okay, so anytime I see 4, 4, and I don't see a huge number. Well, frankly, every time I see 4, 4, I'm thinking to arpeggio in 8. Okay. Or you could do a fancier one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's the 8 pattern. Usually, because I'm always teaching, I'm always thinking, what am I going to make the least mistakes on? Thumb, index, middle, ring, thumb, index, middle, ring, thumb, index, middle, ring, thumb, index, middle, ring. And of course, make sure that you feel really, really comfortable with making mistakes. You're going to make so many mistakes. There are no musicians who don't make mistakes. And so just get really comfy with making a lot of crummy sounds out of your instrument. They'll get better. They get better, but then you get new mistakes, right? You eventually learn. Oh, I know how to make an E chord, and then a couple months from now, you're having to make an F chord, which is gonna sound like that. And then you're like, and then after that, we have to learn B minor. Then it sounds like that, right? And so you're gonna end up making the same mistakes, just at a higher level as we go through this. Hitting the wrong strings, having them come out fuzzy or weird. That's gonna happen a lot. Just don't lose any sleep over that. Believe me, I make 1,000 mistakes every single day, at least, and I don't lose any sleep over it anymore. I would lose sleep over it if I was getting ready for my final exam in my master's degree in guitar performance. I would be worrying about mistakes, but outside of that, I'm just playing I'm just doing the best I can, and you should think that way too. This song, Brother John, is a world classic. Okay, we'll be playing it in 2 different ways. We'll be playing it the one way this week and a different way next week. The big thing here is at the top of the music, at the upper left-hand side, you'll see quarter note equals 80. That tells the computer how fast to play the song. On our website, all of these songs, every single song we work on has a recording over on a widget. I moved the widget from page, whatever page it was on, over into a widget on the right side of the website. So if you're looking at a computer, you can just go over to the side and click play on whatever song you're working on. Listen to it a couple times, make sure you know how it goes while you're looking at the sheet music, and then go in and try and play it. So that's what quarter note equals 80 is. Then underneath that, you see your treble clef, and then you see a bunch of hashtags. You can ignore all that. And then you see this E chord shape up there. It's a little diagram. It's like we're holding the guitar up this way, and it's saying there's a dot here, there's a dot here, and there's a dot here. Okay, and you have some zeros, open notes that say, yep, go ahead and hit that string. And then the other thing on that is right next to that, right below it, it says 4/4 time. That means 4 strums in each measure. Okay, and a measure is divided up vertically. Okay, so let's give it a try. 1, 2, 3, 4. Frère Jacques, Frère Jacques, dormez-vous, dormez-vous. Sonnez les matines, sonnez les matines, ding, dang, dong, ding, dang. Go to the top. Are you sleeping? Are you sleeping? Brother John, Brother John. Morning bells are ringing, morning bells are ringing. Ding, dang, dong, ding, dang, dong. Big takeaway, even for those of you guys who have been around a while, is nothing changed over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. No matter what's going on in the melody, I keep this right hand steady. When you're playing with chords, you're really a drummer, and you got to keep everything nice and steady so that whoever is doing the singing is going to be able to know where you are in this song. I will point out this morning, one of the spam emails I got, somebody was selling me, I don't remember what it was selling, something to do with music. Sign up for this and you can become they were saying, if you sign up for our website, you get to become a rock, you get to go do gigs and you'll make $500 an hour is what it said. So one, not true. And two, my favorite part was, dear Gary, I saw video number blah, blah, blah of your guitar program and your singing was sublime. And I'm like, that's spam. I'm a terrible singer, right? And I know it, and everybody knows it. And so we have to find a way for those of you who are not super excited about singing to let the guitar do the singing. And that's where tablature comes in. I want you to go down and look at the guitar melody line. Then you'll see it says 0240, 0240, 457, 457. Then it goes down to the next line, 797, 540, 797, 540. And then measure 7 and 8, it says 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Those of you guys who've been around a while and you are running the risk of needing to teach somebody to play instrumental guitar, those are numbers you want to have memorized. Those are absolutely the essentials of building a correct foundation is learning how to pluck out a melody going just mostly on one string and then having those numbers memorized so you don't have to look at the paper. All right. First thing you should note is that the string on the top is your string on the bottom. It's a little annoying, but it's meant so that if you had to, you could hold your guitar up like this and look at the paper and look at your guitar and be like, oh, okay, now I see what's going on. Then when you put the guitar back in place, well, now it's upside down. So it feels upside down on the paper, but there is a reason why we put that like that. And all tablature is the same. So once you learn how to read this tablature, you know how to read, banjo tablature, mandolin tablature, balalaika tablature, ukulele tablature. All of the tablatures are written exactly the same. So so what you're learning allows you to play all of the fretted instruments. First thing it says 0240. So we're just going to pluck one string now. 1. And then I'm going to plant a 2. So that was 0, means open. Don't hold anything down. Then hold down your 2. And then pinky on 4, and then open. 0, 2, 4, 0. And I would do this a million times. 0, 0, 2, 4. Oh, I even gave you on the sheet music up there. You see it says open, middle, pinky, open, open, middle, pinky, open, open, middle, pinky, open, open, middle, pinky, open, O, M, P, O, 0, 2, 4, 0, 0. 4, 0, and you'll notice measures 1 and 2 are identical. So let's move on to measure 3, and it's 4, 5, 7. So take your index finger, come up to number 4. Most of you will have a dot on fret 5. Okay, my dots are on the side of the neck here, but most people are on the front. But a lot of guitars, especially a lot of guitars will have them on the side. You can also buy, if you don't have them on the side, I get these off of Amazon. It's called premium fret markers. And when they don't have it on the side, I buy these and you just rub them on and put them on. So this guitar only came with one on 7. So I added one at 5. And so I think, I know it's got one at, I added the one at 5. You can't hardly tell the difference between the ones you add and the ones that came with it. But you want to know, those are super handy to know where those 5 and 7 are. So you're going to come up here to 4, and we're going to play 4, and then 5 with your middle finger and 7 with your pinky. Go. 4, 7, 4, 5, 7. Index, middle, pinky. Index, middle, pinky. Index, middle, pinky. Index, middle, pinky. I appreciate that you do sing. Thanks. I appreciate you singing. I kind of hate it a little bit, but it's okay. No, I do need to be a better singer. I do. I apologize that I'm not. I'm okay until it gets to a certain pitch, and then it's like, forget it. 4, 5, 7. I've read 2 books on singing, 1 or 2. I know I read 1 for sure. I read How to Sing for Dummies, and it was about having good breath control and all this. All right, then so that's 4, 5, and 7. That's measures 3 and 4. Then let's go to 5 and 6. That's 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, 0. And this is the hard part. Go to 7. Put your ring on 7, 7, and then pinky up on 9. Back to 7 with your ring. Back to 5 with your middle. Back to 4 with your index, and then open. 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, 0. 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, 0. 7, 9, 7, 5, 4. Oh my God, I heard an itchy nose. 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, 0. Okay, that's measures 5 and 6. Both of those are the same. And then finally, and measure 7, 8, and 9. Now notice at the end of measure 8, there's this big contraption there saying with 2 dots going the other way. That's a repeat. That's going to take you back up to the top. And then also notice above measure 8, it says on the first time through, play measure 8. On the second time through, skip measure 8. That piece of information is giant. It's easily readable. And I will tell you, most of my new students ignore that completely. And the second time through, they come right in, play measure 8 again. And so the first time you come down, you play measure 8. The second time through, you don't play measure 8. You skip over to measure 9. And so just one way to avoid playing into a first repeat the second time is take a piece of yellow highlighter, just run it up and down at the beginning of measure 8. And that way, when your eyeball comes through, you're like, okay, yellow line. I need to think, is it the first time or the second time? Oh, it's the first time, I play in there. Oh, it's the second time, I don't play in there, I skip over. Not a bad idea to put a yellow marker up at wherever the forward repeat is. In this case, it's at the top of the song going the other direction. So it's a good idea. That way your eyeball tracks quickly to that spot. And then finally, 7 and 8, okay, it says a 0 on the first string and then a 0 on the second string. It's very exciting. You get to play 2 strings in these measures. So first string, second string, first string, first string, second string, first string. Okay, so that is what we're going to play. Players, you've been around a while, index, middle, index, middle, every other note, right? Middle. Or start with your middle, index, middle, index, middle. And then, of course, the second time through, maybe middle, ring, ring, or index, ring, index, ring, index, ring. You won't use your pinky, but you will use these other 3. Okay, and so there is an upper level opportunity for you to practice your alternating IMs from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. 0, 2, 4, 0, 0, 2, 4, 0, 4, 5, 7, 4, 5, 7. A little faster here. 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, 0. 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, 0. First string, second string, first string, first string, second string, first string. Let's do it again. Oh, so whoops, I hit the wrong string. 0, 2, 4, 0, 0, 2, 4, 0, 4, 5, 7, 4, 5, 7, 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, 0, 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, 0. First string, second string, first string, first string, second string, first string. Okay, and that would be remembering that you didn't play measure 8, but you played measure 9. Measure 8 and measure 9 look and feel a whole lot alike, but there are significant differences, and that's why there's a second repeat there. One of the things I noticed, guys, is I was doing my right hand. We should talk, for those of you who are more advanced players who are working on heading toward classical, there is a difference between rest stroke and open stroke, right? And I can't remember the name. They have fancy Spanish names for them. But if you're doing open stroke, you're plucking it and not touching any other string. Okay? Open stroke, and then there's also closed stroke or rest stroke, where your index finger actually touches the string above it. Tend to get a little bit punchier sound that way. Open stroke and rest stroke. And you'll see with lots of guitar players, they almost, not quite, but almost straight fingers on that. So trying to get a little volume out of it, right? So even though this is the song number 1 of book number 1, there's plenty of upper level activities that you can do to be working on both your arpeggio playing and your open stroke and closed stroke, or open stroke and rest stroke. Free stroke and rest stroke is, I think, the more appropriate term for those, where you can, and you get to doing your ring and middle finger. That's actually pretty hard to do. And so you want to play them on, you want to do that kind of activity on easier songs rather than the Beatles tunes we do on Thursday nights. All right, so that's Brother John. Your homework for tonight, if you're new, is just play guitar melody until you're sick of it, until this comes out. Play it as fast as you can, play it as slow as you can, play it as pretty as you can, play it as ugly as you can, play it with perfect tone, and play it with terrible tone. Play it with maybe try with these two, maybe not. If you're newer, I wouldn't. I'd just play with my thumb. And then finally, for those of you guys who've been around a while, this is not a book 1 skill like you want to play through the tough acts. You always want to try it, right? So these songs of book 1 are not particularly set up well for tough acts. From the top, this is where you're headed if you're new to this style of guitar, is playing this both chords and melody at the same time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again. Brother John. All right, so that's book one. Plenty of advanced techniques you can bring to that piece and turn it into something. Those of you guys who've been around a long time and you've been taking any sort of the arpeggio stuff I've been working on in some of the other classes, I mean, really, this is an opportunity. Grab the chord, and you know your first thing is. Adding in those eighth notes and even 16th notes in between notes as decoration to really bring out this sort of beautiful approach to all this. And again, you start on the easy stuff. You start on a song that you know you can play, and then bring all these advanced techniques you're working on and seeing what you can turn it into. I say this story all the time, and I don't ever really get sick of it. I know a guy here in town, Gordon, who's been playing electric jazz guitar for his entire life. He's pretty old now. And he has a version of Three Blind Mice that is ridiculous. It is absolutely brings in just the entire shopping cart of all possible guitar skills. And by the time you're done with it, you know it was Three Blind Mice, but you're not positive. And it's taking all of the skills that we learn here and applying them to a song, and it's really quite fun. So let's see. Warren made it in. Hey, Warren, welcome in. Warren's in Australia, you guys. It's very exciting. It's summertime where he is. He's probably thinking, God, 60 degrees. I'd love to have 60 degrees. All right, so there's Brother John. Let's go grab book two, song number 2. Brother John, the first day of Brother John takes us a long time, guys. And then luckily, A-Tisket and A-Tasket and Streets of Laredo will not take us very long. How things work around here, every day we do a book 1 song. We do the same song all week. And then book 2 and book 3, we do a song out of each of those each day. So if you go to book 2 and grab A-Tisket, A-Tasket, where we'll get started on book 2, and then we'll look very briefly at Streets of Laredo. Streets of Laredo is the song that's actually worth playing this week. Of all of the songs